treetop is like cut in half, it looks like, or cut very down low. It's crazy. was funny. Glad I didn't have my finger up my nose half the time. I do. I didn't know that that does that. Ah! I know this may seem boring for most people who might be watching out there, but it's, you know, it's just interesting to still see. I mean, even though we've gone through a million hurricanes, seems like in the Gulf Coast, it just seems so interesting to see it just happen in general. I mean, look at all these trees. I mean, this is not even we're not even near the beach yet. Like, not even near the beach. We're still on I-10 going north. I went down south for a couple of days to see my friend Millicent, and then heading back up there because not a lot of jobs are taken off, like on the coastal areas. They're still, what I heard over the weekend, they're still kind of doing the, I would say search and rescue, but more of a search for people like the Mexico Beach area for bodies, and not so much through Panama, but through that area. And if they've kicked off jobs, it's all for vegetation, like this right here. It's not for the C&D cleanup from that would happen from the storm surge or from flooding. So you can see all these trees. I mean, this stretch of like probably 100 miles of these trees on roads like this. It's crazy. I probably went through a good 20 miles before I started filming, so I was like, might as well. Just driving, so I ain't got much else to do. Majority of them, when you see them in there, are just like cut in half. They just snap right in half. And about 15 miles back, all the trees are laying on the opposite side. So they were going right, all these are laying on the left. If you're watching right now, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see it okay? Anybody? Can you even hear me? I don't know. Hello? If you're out there watching, give me a thumbs up or wave at me.
This is a test donation for $1. This is a test donation for $.
Watch out, construction on road ahead.
I think if zealous lawyer or zealous politician might find a way to yeah, it's right next to the constitution. But all of it is right, yeah. That's I just like Carol. Put a vein in your neck. I told him like they were walking. He's like, I'm not even trying, bro. It's that ILS, that invisible lat syndrome. Until you realize that. I get a baby. Most such big guys, man.
Nice hat.
Oh
You're in the area. I did the fridges. Sit down and I don't have one button left, but it was like, oh, this is buttons. Four in a row, and then 4 in a row. So what happens in areas like that? Whenever you book on that, I want to go play in Howard County. Yeah, play like Alright guys, listen up. Listen up. I'm going to say a couple things here real quick. We got some students here. Maybe some of you think you hate me. Maybe some of you like me or you don't know who I am. So I'm going to say a couple things. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm not here to use amplified sound. So if you want to hear what I have to say, instead of through your professors or through your president or through authority figures, the media who want to tell you what to think, hear me out and hear what I have to say. Okay, first of all, the first thing I want to say is that I'm here, number one, because of 1639, but I'm also here for free speech and to be able to just talk to students. And I want to explain to you what Patriot Prayer is. Patriot Prayer started because there were people getting beat up in the streets right in front of the police. Okay, and no one was willing to challenge that problem and that issue, and that's how I started Patriot Prayer. We went to the cities where the police were standing down. One of the reasons why you don't see us in Vancouver a lot is because we have a beautiful city, we have police who respect the law, and Antifa and these other violent protesters don't ever come into Vancouver because the police do their job. And so that's why you look at here today, all the mass hysteria, everything people are freaking out about was for what? Look at this. It's a bunch of Americans just standing around having conversations, okay? And so I want to explain to you what's really important to me and what I preach from the very beginning. Number one, I've always preached about love. I'm sick and tired of the hate in this country, okay? The problem is not racism, ladies and gentlemen. Racism is a side effect of hatred, okay? Hatred is the foundation. This is why people are so divisive in this country right now. We believe that you have to agree with everybody that's around you. Oh, if you voted for someone differently than me, then we can't talk. We can't have a conversation. We need to be separated. But we have to say that we're against all forms of hatred, not just racism. You can't yell at someone and scream in someone's face because they voted for Hillary Clinton or because they voted for Trump. That's not okay. That's another form of hatred. And we have to stop it because the hatred goes from one person to the next. And a lot of it's just built on lies. There are people in this school who came here today believing that they hate me because of things that the professors have said. The professors here, some of them have declared that I'm a white supremacist. The problem is, I believe in Jesus. I follow his teachings. And Jesus doesn't care about the color of your skin. He doesn't care. He cares about what's on the inside. And shoot, Jesus was probably darker than me, most likely. And we got tons of people of color, diversity, because we don't care about that. It's about what's on the inside. And so for me, the one driving force, the reason why I do what I do is because I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and I believe he is the answer to some of the biggest problems that we have in this country. I'm not saying turn to Jesus so you won't go to hell. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he can take all your misery, all your pain, all your suffering, and he can turn that darkness and he can turn it into light so that you can impact the people around you. So you can help the other students, you can help the professors, so you can make this community a better place. And I wanted to go into some of the darkest cities all over the country and simply just pray. And just pray and watch the people freak out. Watch the protesters foaming from their mouth, throwing bottles of urine on us, spitting in my face, pepper spraying me. And no matter what all the people can do, no matter how much they slander my name here or every city that I go to, no matter how much they spit in my face, they pepper spray me, they assault me, I will never respond in hatred because I'm done with the hate. The hate's got to stop. And the only way I've been able to do that, the only way I've been able to have the strength to do that, I'm just being honest with all you guys. Imagine you being a normal person who's not racist, a normal person who just wants to preach love, who wants to preach freedom. Imagine that's in your heart. And so you go out there and do it, and every single day people try to tear you down. Imagine that. Every single day people try to say, you're hateful, you're a bigot, you're racist, you're a Nazi, everything that you stand against. Imagine every single day people putting that on you, putting it on your shoulders, having to carry that every single day. Do you understand what that's like? And the only way I've been able to have the strength to do that, the only way I've been able to have the patience to continue on was because of my belief in God and Jesus. That's it. That's it. And so that's the message that I want to send in terms of why I do what I do, why I continue to go around the country, no matter how much hatred that I get, deception, lies. That's what drives me, and that's what motivates me, and that's from the bottom of my heart. That I could not be any more sincere. The next thing that drives me, why I want to continue to start doing things like this, small events, calm events, okay, where we don't have to worry about people trying to kill us, okay? Freedom first is the most important ideology in my life besides God. It's so important. It clarifies everything when it comes to politics. These professors here, a majority of them here, don't want you to think about freedom because freedom isn't political. It's not left. It's not right. It's just freedom first. Every single policy question that you come across, the first thing you need to ask, does this increase your freedom or decrease your freedoms? A lot of you guys are young. Your whole life, you've had your parents or other teachers telling you what to do, how to think, how to act, what's appropriate, what's not. Now that you're out of the household, it's time that you focus on freedom. When a professor tells you what to think, you tell him or you tell her, no, thank you. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to do my research. I'm a free-thinking individual. When a professor or media or some pundit on TV tries to tell you we need to take away your freedoms for your own safety, say, no, thank you. No, thank you. You guys have already taken too much. Every single policy question should come down to that question. Does it increase our freedoms or decrease our freedoms? I'm here to tell you freedom is one of the most beautiful things that we have in this country, but we take it for granted because we were born into it. We don't understand what it's like to live under a true fascist, to live under true tyranny, to where if you wear the wrong article of clothing, they can take you off the street, throw you in prison for life. And what you have to understand is every single freedom or right that we give away, every single piece of liberty that we give up to these people above us, to the government, we're closer to tyranny. 1639 is one more step to take away your God-given right to the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is the most important amendment that we have. Let me explain to you why they're going after the rifle. The rifle literally will probably only kill one person this year. Just one in the state of Washington. Just one. God bless his or her soul, whoever that may be. but that's only one person. So what I want to know, why do they want to go after the rifle so bad? Why do they want to make it hard to own and carry a rifle? Because it makes us strong, independent Americans. And this is what I said yesterday. When we as Americans, the millions of us who own rifles, who legally own rifles and never commit crimes, and remember, no crime is committed with rifles. It's all handguns. Ask the police, okay? When millions of us in this country own the rifle, we have the largest sleeping military in the world. We have millions of Americans that are willing to step up to keep this country safe through, whether it be from our own government or whether it be from other governments, because I'm here to tell you the reason why no military has ever sent ground troops to this country is because the citizens
This is a
will
test
step
donation
up
for
and
dollar.
absolutely destroy them simply by numbers. China only has 3 million, which is a lot, 3 million in the military, but none of their citizens own guns. We have hundreds of millions of citizens on this country ready to protect this soil. And this is why they despise the rifle, because it makes us strong, independent Americans to where no matter what happens to our government, whether our military falls, and don't you tell me our military will never fall. Every great military falls. When our military falls, us, the American citizens, will have a way to defend our country. I want to give a little explanation about my heritage and my history, something I'm a little bit ashamed of, and then I'll finish up here. But I've talked about this several times. During World War II, okay, the Chinese military failed to protect their own citizens, okay? They pretty much lost to the Japanese military. And for those of you who don't know what happened, the Japanese military went through China and completely just ravaged the land, raped and murdered all the women, even the children. It's one of the most disgusting things that happened in just not too long ago that people don't know about. And one of the reasons that happened is because you had the Japanese military with all their guns and you had citizens left to fend for themselves. That's not okay. I'm here to tell you that the Japanese would have never set foot on our country because of our rifles. See, this is something we got to think about. I'm sorry about the one person who will die from a rifle in Washington State, but we have to think about how many millions of people's lives we save every single day simply as the deterrent of having a rifle in so many random households across this entire country. Okay? And so that's why I'm here to say no on 1639 and look into it, because they want to make criminals out of kids who are 18 to 21 who go hunting. It's been a tradition in their family for a long time. They go hunting at 18 years old with a semi-automatic rifle. The police, if found on him, are going to have to arrest him and make a criminal out of him. They want to register how many guns you have, where your guns are at, and how you lock up your guns. Again, we're giving more power to the government. We're pretending like they're here for us. The government doesn't care about you guys. The government despises you and wants to know who has the weapons so that when the government comes knocking on your doors, they know exactly where to go. And they want more permits. They want more money. They want more classes. Again, it's the government saying, we need more money from you to protect you. I want to know, at what point are we going to say enough is enough? At what point, as you as students or older, whatever, at what point are we going to say we're done giving up our freedoms to this government? Because I'm telling you, if this passes, it will not stop at that. It will not stop. It will continue. Just like in London, they went after the guns, okay? Everyone said, fine, take my weapons, take my weapons. Now they're going after the knives. They're going after the knives. What's next? They go after the fist? You are more likely to be murdered in cold blood with someone's fist, with their bare hands, than a rifle. But they're going after the rifle, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just here. I'm not going to tell you guys what to think, what to do, or whatever, like your professors do. I'm here to ask you to open your mind. I'm here to ask you to, hold on, you ask questions if you want. You ask questions.
Don't do that.
Okay, give me a second. You can say something, okay? I'm here to ask you to think on your own and to look through the deception, look through the lies, look into 1639. If you're not already registered to vote, make sure you get registered to vote, okay? So if you got a question, you got a question?
Have you met our professors? Have you talked to
Is there anyone here that had a professor that said that a racist, hateful group is coming in here? Anybody? Anybody? There you go. Anybody?
It's been posted all over the WSU website to say that the professors are fear-mongering.
Maybe you have good professors.
No, we had three did that letter.
That was a student initiative, not.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not about professors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you talked to any of the professors?
I'm a student too.
A lot of the professors that I have, they very much emphasize that we need to look at the policies. We need to look at specifically for this thing. My professor gave me the voters pamphlet. He said, look at against, look at for, and then you decide.
Good.
So
like I said,
but you can't generalize all
that's not a bad thing, right?
But saying your professors do this, your professors do that, your professors are telling you what to believe.
My bad. Some professors in this school.
It's literally the same tactic that you're saying that some professors are using.
I'm going to order better. Some professors in this school are telling you what to think. They made a judgment about this group, right?
Yes.
Some did.
Yes.
My apologies. Some have not. Like this man saying they actually gave him the voter's guide. So that's good.
In Canada and America, most professors, most academia is
Yeah.
Being liberal doesn't give them the right to take away my right as a student on this campus.
You guys are not generalization just because you guys are conforming us into this group. How about if you're a moderate? What if you're a conservative?
You chose to be in a group and say something as a group.
You're putting us in this group.
I'm an individual. You just said that you as a group opposed to this happening.
Because there was multiple people.
What group are you in?
Why do I have to
What
say?
student group are you in?
Why do I have to say?
Because you just said that.
Because you said liberal.
It doesn't give us the right to take our right to free speech away. Liberal, left, right, your student group, the student group I'm in that posted all the lies everywhere.
Lies? No, there was other multiple propaganda that we did not post.
What group are you in? I can't tell you what I think if I don't even know who you're speaking for.
We're all free-thinking individuals.
I should have as much space on this campus as
No one said not to come here. No one said you're
Really?
not welcome here.
Really?
Are you? We're talking about this specific group that what happened in the past. We're not talking about students. We're not. If you guys
How do you
don't
know
want to.
students aren't involved
Hey
in
guys,
this group?
what's up everybody? Everybody calm down. We're all here to have civil conversation and everything, you know. Let's learn how to disagree without disrespect, you know, simple as that. You know, so everybody out here that doesn't know who I am, some of you guys already know who I am. My name is Tiny. I know I'm not really tiny, but my real name is That's why they call me the Big Boy Tiny. I'm 22 years old. I'm from the island of American Samoa. I know I don't look 22. But it all comes down to this. You know, what we're really trying to say here is think for yourself. Decide for yourself. It doesn't really matter which side you're on. Who here is left leaning? Don't be scared. Raise your hand. Who here is right leaning? Okay, yeah. But it all comes down to this. Have you ever seen a plane? Okay, and if you're independent, that's good. Amen to that. But have you ever seen a plane fly with one wing? It goes sideways, right? It needs two wings, right and left. That's what our country needs to come down to. We need to do what's right. It doesn't. I always said this. It's not a battle between Republican versus Democrat, right versus left, liberal versus conservative. It's a battle between what's right and what's wrong. It's a battle between evil versus good. It's simple as that. You think for yourself, but then you decide on what you think it's better. But we're not here to force you to decide on to vote no or anything. It's up to you. If you decide to agree with this, that's good. It's your decision. If you decide to disagree with it, that's your decision. But I'm saying, look at other countries that went down this road, and then you decide, do you want this country to be like that? It's simple as that. That's what they're trying to do. The government wants this argument between the left and the right, so it distracts us from the real enemy, which is them on the top. Simple as that. And we need to wake up and start opening our eyes and start seeing that it's not a battle between me and you. I don't hate you. I don't hate you. The only reason why you see Tiny throwing fists at rallies and stuff like that is because people are attacking elderly people. That's the only reason why I got involved. I got sick and tired of seeing people mob like dogs on the street. And I told people that comes out with masks, hey, I will lay my life down to defend your freedom of speech if anybody from my side is attacking you. Simple as that. Because I believe in the Constitution, and I believe in what's right. And like it or not, even if you disagree with me, it's still my right, because we have different views, but we don't have different rights. That is what this country was founded on. So think like that, guys. Have a conversation with some of the people that came out here, because I know some people told you guys that we're white supremacists. Well, as you can see, I'm straight up coconut. Bob, FOB, fresh off the boat, 2014. That was my first time seeing green, yellow, red street lights. We don't have that in Iowa. But I'm so in love with the freedom we have in America. That's why I'm standing up for it. You know, we don't even have guns in my island, too. This is what we used to kill people in my island. That's why I don't believe in all this stuff that's going on.
You're fine.
But, hey, all I'm saying is, learn how to disagree without disrespect. Have a simple conversation with somebody. Come with an open ear, open heart. Getting ready to listen to somebody that has a different opinion from you. You know, and then you guys can agree to disagree. Because if you say what I'm saying is hate speech, I can pick out some stuff that I disagree with you that's hate speech. Just because you disagree doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it hate speech. Because I can say I love bacon, and it can be hate speech to a vegan. That's why we have free speech. So say whatever you say as long as you're not hurting anybody. So God bless everybody. Let's have a good time today.
Alright, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to speak up, or anyone has anything to say, pretty laid back. Pretty simple. Sure. Classes, it's not going to stop at that. It's going to keep moving forward. Just like in Portland or Oregon, some of the requirements that they have is just going to get more strict. So I see no reason for it. It's the same reason why 20,000 a year in the United States is from suicide. That's like the main issue. So if we want to really go to the problem, it's not. We should really focus on mental health in terms of helping people out who are suicidal, especially. So I don't think that gun safety is the problem in terms of people dying statistically.
This is Spencer. So mass murders, unfortunately, this is not going to be very popular to say, guys, but mass murders aren't a
problem statistically in this country. It's sad to say. It's emotionally charging, and it sucks that it happens. Okay, but we're talking about 300 people per year who die from lung gas. 300. That's it. So I don't understand if we were to actually lock up every single lung gun, these people who also do you're not just saving lives. It's the issue. And you're gonna. What's the point of having a gun in your household for self-defense? Someone breaks into your house and you can't use it. It's locked up. It takes too long. What's the point? You have it in your household so that you can defend your household, especially single mothers. Single mothers living in high-crime neighborhoods. The worst thing they can do is have their gun locked up. Especially if they've been broken into 3, 4, 5 times. Do you have any other questions? Those are legitimate questions, though. Is there any other questions? Or anything?
I have a question.
Doing good. How are you doing? Good. I'm glad to be here.
I have a question. I was like reading a lot about the opposition to this bill. I was wondering what would better alternatives be? Because like I know that some people might not agree with it, but when there has been violence that there can death from guns, and that is a problem. So if not like this, what are your other alternatives that you think could help?
Sure. Okay. So you want to solve the problem in terms of 10,000 people per year who are murdered by guns, right? And almost all of them are gay guns. Okay? So your concern is the 10,000 people who die every year with these weapons. I understand that sucks that that happens. Okay? I'm not here to downplay it. That number is insignificant compared to the other problems that we have in here. Insignificant. The fact that what guns do is it saves millions of lives. So that's the other thing. What I believe to answer the question, though, if you disagree with it, to answer the question is, we don't need to solve that problem. We need less regulation, not more. We need more people, we need good people to own guns. If we had more of a gun culture in this country, okay, people are if we had a rifle in every single household, law-abiding household, crime would go way down. It would be a lot less work. You know, that's a legitimate question, but I don't know the answer to that. Because we can't determine, you know, who should or should not have guns. There's a lot of people out there. And then they're going to have to open up the medical records, which is going to open up the majority. I truly believe, I don't believe doctors should be deciding who should or should not be able to purchase guns. That's my problem. Unfortunately, it means that once in a while, someone is going to get access to a gun who shouldn't, who mentally should not do it. I just don't know who's going to solve that problem. Yeah. It's illegal. I mean, there's issues, there's examples that are literally threatening to shoot up schools on social media. That's not legal. So that should be taken care of right away. So that's not a problem with taking guns. That's a problem with either the community not regulating police taking down. That's what happened in Mexico. Mexico, they used to be in the Constitution, you can have guns. They changed it, they took away all the guns and they gave all the power to the cartel. They gave all the power to the criminals. That's not the answer. Mexico has some of the strictest gun laws in the world. Look at how many people are dying from gun violence. I mean, those are all American guns, but still.
That's good, man. That's good. That's American joke.
Okay, look at this. There's two houses. There's two houses. One that says no guns. One that says the family is on. What house is the criminal going to go to? You can go to the one that doesn't have a gun. I'm just saying, but we protect our kids. Well, we protect ourselves and all our people with law enforcement and guns and our houses. But we protect our kids with a sign that says no go zone, no gun zone. Criminals, they're criminal. How are they going to follow the law? They've already broken the law. They don't give a damn about the law. So all these politicians are doing, they're making us bad people. They're hurting law-abiding predators.
Problem solved. Problem saved solved. Right between the way.
Just believe me. This speaker right here. I'm sorry. I'm not sexist.
This is a test donation for $1.
It's simple as that. It's common sense. So, that's all I'm saying.
Any other questions? Yes.
No, these guys showing it.
Because the people funding this are elitists and they're very rich. So, you know, like Paul Allen and Bloomberg and some of these other people. So that's what it is. But it's also going to bring more money into the government because they're going to require more permits, more classes. They're going to increase the cost of firearms because even people who are selling guns, they have to go through a strict process. So it's funny because the billionaires, they hate guns, but they're surrounded by private security. So they want the rest of us to not have guns while they can hire their own private security. Some of them do, yeah. What am I telling you to think?
No, don't do that. Dude, oh my god. These are
Sure. So I'm here to tell you what I believe in, what's in my heart, and what I okay? Well, some of the Oh yes. In case you guys haven't heard, for 2 years now, we've had a $2,000 bounty. If you can find any film of me no hate speech at all, you get $2,000.
It's been up for 2 years, guys.
That's a lot of money.
People
have tried. People have tried. They've tried their hardest. Make sure, hey, tell all your professors, if they said that I have hate speech, tell them, hey, you can win $2 grand. Tell them to get the evidence. That's all we got to do. Yeah. I do not hate Antifa. I hate their ideology. I hate the people who are taking advantage of them. They're being used. They're being played. So I don't hate them, though. If I did, then I would have been violent a long time ago with them. You got a question right here, guys.
We don't need to preach riot.
Yeah.
What is it right now? I didn't read
Now here's the story. So we were the first group on the West Coast to go up and down some of these really like far left cities. I'm not talking about liberal. I'm talking about like Berkeley. It's not even liberal. It's like far left. We're going into Berkeley, San Francisco, Portland, Olympia, Seattle, and we're the first group to go on these preaching freedom and preach about God. And we got a lot of pushback. So there's two different types of people who call us racist. There's the people who believe it because they were told by people above them. Then there's people above them who know that we're not racist, but they spread that lie. Nancy Pelosi called me specifically a white supremacist when we're coming down to San Francisco. And all the media bought it. They all just were like, yeah, he's a white supremacist coming into San Francisco. But the interesting thing, though, is that when people hear about who I am, they're like, let's look this guy up. They look into me. I've had a lot of people like, I kind of like this guy. Like when they actually look into what I have to say.
It's so left-handed.
They want division. That's why so many people are like, don't come talk to them. Don't hear what they have to say. Because then you're going to like get the truth. Like, right, you're going to feel my spirit. You know who we are. And you're going to see how dark we are too. You know what I mean? So.
I know, I started looking too. I'm like, oh, he's talking about back.
I'd like to say I'm going to go inside and see too.
I'm half Mexican. My girlfriend is Mexican. Exactly. So, I've been called a Nazi, a racist, a white supremacist, everything. But Tiny and I and James Black walking down the sidewalk in Salem, and these three white kids, Antifa, white, are calling us racist. Now, how ridiculous is that? Okay? I mean, that's crazy. I believe what Joey says because I've never heard him say one racist thing. Even away from all this. Even away from all this, just socializing at his house. There's nothing about that. Well, it does. It happens. We cannot control. Right. And you know what? We have asked them to leave too. That does not be shown on the press, but we have asked them to leave. We know that's all we get. Right. No, that's what I just said.
If there's a,
we've asked, yeah.
I also think that we need to have conversations with people who are different too. I mean, I was marching in Rhode Island with a guy who had a long history of racism, and he used to be a Klan leader. And the people are asking, like, why are you even talking? Why are you even walking with them? Why are you being nice to them? But it's kind of like we have to talk with one another. We have to learn from each other. What are we gonna do? Just isolate everyone we disagree with, or everyone that has a rough past? We're just gonna isolate them and just. That's not what Jesus did either. Jesus went from household to household. He went to all the people that society despised and had conversations and talked to them. I think that as long as I'm clear about what I believe in, I believe racism is a form of hatred, and I'm against all forms of hatred in this society. It's got to stop. But the whole racist part has been overplayed. Now everybody's racist.
Right. One of the main reasons why.
What's that?
Yes, we do. No, all the time.
You want me to hold on to that? Absolutely. No.
Yeah.
The next day, he came. The next day. You want to know what's awesome? You want to know what's awesome about that question? The very next day, for the first time, he publicly came out and said he realized. He publicly said that racism has been a poison in his entire life, and he's been using it as an excuse because he had no family, and he was using it as an excuse to build his own family, like an own gang or own clan, you know. And he left the lifestyle a while ago.
There's a better chance out there and change them by having conversations. There's a guy from Oregon, from Eugene, Oregon, that reached out to me. He was like, Tiny, you know, I'm straight up neo-Nazi. Like, I believe in Hitler and everything and this and that. And he told me, I'm not kidding.
Continue to expose the truth. And I'll also be talking to some of the activists here later so that you can hear their own experiences. Some of them have been inside of Whole Foods farms like myself, seen animals cannibalizing one another. Some of them have been arrested at Whole Foods actions. Some of them have been arrested very recently, including Priya, who was arrested this weekend. And Priya's here with me today. She's coming right back. Priya, how are you feeling?
Well, you know, I'm not going to lie. I feel very, very sad about what's happening. What's happening in today's world. Activists, people who are animal lovers, are being arrested and thrown in jail for trying to help someone who's dying. And you know, we're here today at Whole Foods, and this is part of a larger narrative where corporations and these companies are repressing activists because they want to hide the truth. And Whole Foods is in the front line of this movement to try to shut down activists. So we are here today because we're not scared of your lawsuits. We're not scared of your felony charges. We're coming right back. So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, and if you don't know, the lawsuit that Whole Foods is bringing has already generated so much press. A month ago when they first filed for this lawsuit, we got press in Daily Mail, in The Guardian, in Vice. We got so much press out of this lawsuit that I would think Whole Foods would learn their lesson, that they can't shut down the truth this way, that we are going to turn repression into more attention and more legislation and more protection for animals and more rescue stories. But they haven't learned yet, and so they're continuing to repress us as activists and to repress the truth and, of course, to torture animals, because that's what they want to do at the end of the day. So I'm going to stand in front so you can see this whole line of activists. And I'll turn it around and show you what this looks like. There's a great banner outside that says Occupy Whole Foods. I want to die.
Don't buy Whole Foods lies. Animals feel pain. Just like us. Animals want to live. Just like us. Animals.
And I'm going to cross the street so I don't get run over when I stand in front and show you these speak-outs. But I want you to hear from everyone who's going to be talking today, because we have some incredible activists who, despite this lawsuit, are going to be standing out here in front of Whole Foods, delivering their message loudly and proudly.
I've been a vegetarian 40 years. My grandfather was a butcher. It hurts him.
Like overly whatever, but NBC National News is wanting more stuff about the arrests. So it's a big deal.
Everyone has the right to know, but Whole Foods desperately wants to hide from you. They are so scared of you finding out the truth that they are suing us. They want to intimidate us into silence. But we will not be afraid. We occupied Whole Foods for an entire week. So many customers approached us to find out what our demonstration was about. I spoke to so many people who were irate to find out that Whole Foods was lying to them. People feel duped, betrayed, and taken advantage of, and they should. Whole Foods claims to have extremely high animal welfare standards. They even have a 5+ step process. All of this is a sham. Our investigations have proven this over and over again. We have been to numerous farms that supply Whole Foods, and every single time we have found criminal animal abuse. We have found animals starving to death. We have found animals trapped in their own feces. We have found animals dead where they lay, rotting next to their brothers and sisters. Whole Foods wants nothing more than for us to go away so they can continue this animal abuse and profit off of it. But guess what? We're not going away. And neither is the truth. Whole Foods can hide the truth all they want, but it's going to come out sooner or later. Whole Foods needs to own up to their crimes. It's not food! It's not milk! It's violence!
Anna just spoke on the megaphone, and it's absolutely true what she said. The truth is going to come out sooner or later. And if you can share this video and all the support that you give, it's going to come out sooner rather than later. We can make the difference for animals. And, you know, someone said to me recently that they want to be an activist whether it brings animal liberation one day earlier than it would otherwise, or 10 years or 100 years sooner than it would otherwise. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing to say, because if we can hurry up the pace to ending the humane line, ending all of these horrible things that are happening to animals in the name of humanity, then if we can speed that up by just one day and save the animals who are killed on that one day, that would still be so many animals whose lives would be saved. And that's a tragedy that animals are dying that quickly and that anyone could call that humane. But Whole Foods is calling it humane, and that's what needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. So we're out here today. I just crossed the street so you can see people behind me, and you'll see some cars too. People driving by are definitely seeing our message. And we're going to have some more speak outs, and we're going to have a visual demonstration too with the tape, and then we're going to be marching all the way to the courthouse. So if you're just joining the live stream and you didn't hear, we're out here today because Whole Foods has a court date today at the Oakland courthouse where they are asking for a restraining order against Direct Action Everywhere statewide. They want to ban activists from every single store in California. And I'm just appalled that that's what's happening. But what is happening is that Whole Foods is terrified of the truth, and they are going through any effort that they can to get them shut out, to keep it out of their stores.
Yes! Are we going to get it? Yes! Because it's not food! It's violence! It's not food! It's violence! Whole Foods is at the front lines of a movement to suppress those who are trying to speak up for the truth. For years, we have gone inside of Whole Foods stores to let the public know what is happening to the animal farms that they supply from. And we have gotten zero response. Time and time again, we have contacted this company. We have tried to address John Mackey, the CEO of this company. And now this company is owned by Amazon. We have contacted Amazon. We have tried to contact Jeff Bezos. And we have asked them a simple question. Where do you supply your animal products from? Where does your meat come from? Does it come from factory farms? For asking the simple question, we have been banned from this store. We have restraining orders against us. We have even had activists arrested for asking a simple question. You may not be vegans, you may not even be vegetarians, but we know that all of the public cares about the truth. We are here as animal lovers, but we're also here because we believe in the value of truth. Every person deserves to know what they're putting their money into. And this company does not want its consumers to know that your money is going towards marketing campaigns that are literally designed to fool and manipulate people. This company will tell you that they supply from farms where animals are not kept in battery cages. So let me take you inside of a place where I went. I went to a Whole Foods farm. I went to a Whole Foods farm where animals were in cages, confined so tightly that they could not even move freely, which is what they tell everybody. They were mutilated, and worst of all, we saw birds that were hanging from their cages, unable to access food and water. This is criminal animal cruelty, folks. And inside of their stores, they will literally tell you that they don't supply from these places. How is this level of fraud and deception allowed? Why are activists being punished for letting the public know this truth? Why is this company ordering and issuing restraining orders? This is not food, it's violence. This is not truth, it's deception. And it needs to stop. So even if you don't believe in being vegan, even if you don't believe in being vegetarian, come and join us and stand up for the truth. We cannot afford to let these corporations become so immoral that they're literally denying people information. It's not food.
It's violence.
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 Animals feel pain.
Like us.
So you just heard from Priya, who was in jail just a couple nights ago for trying to rescue a cow who was dying and left in a graveyard at a huge California dairy farm. And, you know, she's already back out here speaking the truth, and that's what we need everyone to do. Not necessarily to get arrested, but to recognize that when these companies are lying to us, we need to get active for animals, and we need to do what we can. So maybe that means you're sharing the video, and if that's the case, please share the video, help more people see it. There are people here at Whole Foods who are seeing us today. There's some security out making sure we don't come in, and watching us and listening, actually. So if you can help us reach more people with this message, then please do. Please do. And we'll talk to Priya later about that and what happened this weekend. But if you aren't aware of what the lawsuit's about, I noticed someone asking in the comments, this lawsuit has been brought against Direct Action Everywhere by Whole Foods because we've gone into their stores and we've asked questions about their animal products. And we've simply asked sometimes and been like, hey, can I ask you a question? And they say no, and they call the police. And so we have to take action like this when that's their response. We have to mobilize and bring people out, and if they won't show consumers the truth, then we need to show it to them ourselves. So in the past, we've brought footage inside of Whole Foods to show people. We've showed people pictures of the bloody eggs that we find in Whole Foods farms before they are cleaned off and packaged in some carton that says humane, happy, healthy animals on it, because that is not the truth, but that's what Whole Foods is marketing to people. And so if you're wondering why we choose to come to Whole Foods instead of, say, McDonald's, which is a question people ask us a lot, it's because when you go to McDonald's, people don't actually think that they're doing something really great for animals when they're there. But when people come to Whole Foods, they very much do think that they are doing something good for animals. And Whole Foods, it feeds that lie to you by making you feel good about every choice that you do at Whole Foods. So we need to bring the truth here ourselves and expose what's actually happening to these animals.
Hey, the Whole Foods managers, I believe, are standing off to the side. You want to try to interview them?
We could try. I did see them there.
Yeah.
Did you show people that they're like personally opening the door? So you see how they're opening the door for someone who wants to go in one by one, and they won't open the door for us, of course. They would go so far as to get a restraining order. They definitely won't let us in, but they're having to open the door one by one for people who want to get inside of Whole Foods because they don't want to let us in. So we can try asking some of the managers over here why they're not letting us in today and see what they think. Hi, can I ask you a question? Okay, well, but are you listening to our message out here today, but you won't let us inside?
You can't come inside. You can't come on the property.
And why not? If I personally, as one person, want to ask a question.
We're not allowing your organization on the property.
Well, what's my organization? What if I come in and I want to buy something and I'm an individual and I can't ask a question about anything?
As an individual, you can come in and purchase something.
But I don't know if I can because Whole Foods has a restraining order against 150 people.
I've answered your question. I'm not going to
Do you know who those 150 people are?
No.
You don't know. Does anybody know? Is it just a made-up number? Because it would be helpful for me to know if I could even come into Whole Foods. You have no information.
No information.
But you think it's important for us not to come inside?
I have no information for you.
Well, that's an opinion.
I have no comment and no information.
No comment and no information. Thanks. Very typical of Whole Foods. Thank you very much, sir. No comment, no opinion, no answer. You know, I mean, I understand he's just doing his job. I'm sure he's not anywhere high up enough to be bringing this lawsuit against us, but somebody needs to be speaking out and getting us the information that we need, because when we go in and we ask questions and we don't get any information, then what's left to us to do? We have to go to the farms ourselves. We have to get the information there and bring it here. And I've brought pictures to Whole Foods from farms that I've been inside of, and they still have no opinion, no comment, no answer. So their claim that they care about transparency is falling vastly short, and we need to take action. What did you think about what he said, Priya?
Well, I thought it was interesting that he responded, because for the most part they don't usually respond. So he said, like, not for your organization, and you know, and then he realized that he doesn't really have many questions. And that's another thing, that these people don't even really know what they're saying no to. Mm-hmm. Like, they could totally, and they probably do on some level, agree with what we're saying, but they're just, you know, spouting out these corporate talking points, but they don't actually believe in them, and that's why it stops.
Yeah, we've actually heard from people who work at Whole Foods on the inside that they've been threatened to be fired if they talk to us. So you never know what anyone's going to say, but it was interesting that he was willing to at least say a comment to start, and that our organization isn't welcome here.
Yeah.
But, you know, he didn't have any information about who these other 150 activists are, or these other 25 organizations.
So much need. We did what anyone would do. We tried to help. We picked up 10 birds, offered them food and water. They drank voraciously, and they were so emaciated that their bones dug into our hands as we held them. When we tried to leave, to take these animals to veterinary care that they so desperately needed, we were stopped by police. Police told us that we were in the wrong for trying to help these animals. But it was so clear that they didn't even believe their own words. So it's
clear, because before they arrested us, before they tore 9 baby birds out of our arms, before they sent 9 baby chickens to die, they let one bird go. This one bird we named Rose. We sent her to a sanctuary and got her the care that she deserves. And now she lives a life where she is happy and safe. Rose got to live because the police had mercy on her, because they saw that she was suffering and that she needed compassion. But the truth is that Rose is like every other victim of animal agriculture. That Rose, like every animal, wants to live as much as you or I do. Time after time, we've entered farms that supply Whole Foods and its parent company, Amazon. We've entered farms that call themselves humane, free range, or cage-free. And we've found conditions that you would not wish upon your worst enemy. We have taken the sickest of these animals from these farms and brought them to safety. And we've brought their stories straight into the places where their families' bodies are dressed up like food. We brought these stories straight into Whole Foods Market. And instead of thanking us for bringing transparency, Whole Foods is suing us. Last month, they tried for the first time, in a blatant attempt to stifle free speech and hide the truth, they tried to ban us from every store in California. They failed, resulting in a temporary restraining order for one Berkeley store. Today, join us as we march to the courthouse and hear Whole Foods try. Hear them try once again to ban us from every store.
So Princess was saying, speak your truth. They're listening to you, and that's definitely true. There's a lot of traffic out here. There's a lot of people listening to us. There are people eating outside of Whole Foods and hanging out here and just walking by on the street who are hearing our message today. And Denny is asking, wait, this is news to me. What did Whole Foods do? Well, it's the most recent thing is them filing a lawsuit against us, against Direct Action Everywhere. But the reason they've done that is because of what they've been doing for years now, which is torturing animals and selling their bodies and calling it humane. And a lot of people come to Whole Foods specifically and pay more at Whole Foods than they would at other stores because they think that it's the right thing to do. But actually, when we try to come in and ask questions about their products, they ban us. And that's why people are putting banned onto their faces. Because we've been banned from Whole Foods just for asking questions. So Denny, if you want to know more about what Whole Foods is doing, then come and ask them in their stores. Because you might find out that they have a lot to hide if they tell you that they have no comment, no answer, nothing to tell you, and that you need to leave, which is what they've told us when we've come in to ask questions. And that's why these activists are out here today showing the public that Whole Foods has banned us for simply asking questions, that they're unwilling to talk, even though they claim on their website to value transparency around farming practices. They put that on their website. They want you to believe that every farm they supply animal products from is a humane farm. But when you ask them where these farms are, so that you can see for yourself, they don't even have that information. They don't want you to know where these farms are because they're not humane. Because when we follow the supply chain and we go to these farms ourselves, we find horrific things happening to animals. I've been inside of a Whole Foods farm and I've seen the same sort of criminal animal cruelty that I've seen inside of Costco farms, that I've seen inside of Safeway farms, because all of these places are competing to make a profit. And when you're making a profit off of exploiting animals, you don't care about how those animals are living. You care about the lie that you're telling the public and that they believe it, which is why you get scared when activists expose the truth, but you don't care about the animals that you're making a profit off of. And when I was inside of a Whole Foods farm, I saw thousands of hens. It's the first time that I walked into a farm where I saw thousands of hens crammed together with no space to walk or to move. And this is a cage-free farm. This is a farm that Whole Foods is bragging about because they've removed the cages. And it's no better than the caged farms that I've seen as well, because these animals are cannibalizing one another. These animals are so weak and so little, and the biggest ones trample the smaller ones. And they get their feathers pecked out, and they're suffering day in and day out, and they don't have anywhere else they can go. This is the shed that they spend their entire lives in. This is the cage-free 5-step plus farm that Whole Foods wants you to believe is the top of the top, that it's the best farm that you could possibly get your eggs from, that these are the best farms that you could ever buy from when you're coming to shop at Whole Foods. So if you're someone who shops at Whole Foods and you didn't know this, then I hope you share the live stream. And if you're someone who knows people who are buying humane eggs, who are buying cage-free eggs, who are buying the chicken bodies that say free range on them because they believe that that's better, then please share this video as well so that they can find out the truth. And another thing you can do to help all the activists out here is to sign the petition at dxe.io/lawsuit, which is our petition to drop the lawsuit that Whole Foods has filed against us. Whole Foods showed up at Wayne's house and he got served by a lawyer because Whole Foods hired some fancy lawyers to represent them to serve us these documents telling us that they want an emergency restraining order, that we can't come into their farm, that we can't come into their stores rather. We can't even ask a question. You know, Wayne has gone in before to try to buy vegan cookies and ask a question. I've gone in just to go up to the meat counter and say, here's a picture from one of your farms that I've been in and could you answer a question for me? And that politely, immediately, they ask us to leave, they call the police, and they file a restraining order. And that's why today there is a court date at the Oakland Whole Foods, the Oakland courthouse. So we're marching from Oakland Whole Foods right now to the Oakland courthouse, and people are just taking off. Let me show you. We're going to be marching all the way there, and we have our Occupy Whole Foods banner, and we also have tape on the mouths of all of these activists to show that these people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life, from different reasons and cultures and ages are coming together because they recognize that we should the simple basic right to know, the right to know what is happening to these animals. So thank you, Shiloh, for commenting the link. If you haven't signed it before, please sign the petition at dxe.io/lawsuit, which will help drop this lawsuit, will help immediately, do it right now because we're going to court right now. And we want the judge to know that there is so much support for the activists who are asking these questions, who are exposing the truth, and that there is not support for a lawsuit that represses free speech and that allows companies to continue abusing animals and keeping it behind closed doors and keeping it in the dark. So please sign the petition, share the live stream, and stay with us as we go to court because we need to know what the next steps are. And if you heard me talking to the manager, I was asking him, do you have any information about who these 150 activists are who are unnamed in the lawsuit, but who are apparently being sued and restrained from the Whole Foods premises? And could you tell me if I'm one of them? Because I'd certainly like to know if I'm being sued and if I'm being restrained from Whole Foods, but I can't even get that information because Whole Foods has this restraining order for 150 people and 25 organizations. And it's just a blanket statement to try to keep everyone out. They don't want anyone with questions, anyone with information, or anyone with the truth to come. And we're seeing a police car. Apparently, Whole Foods called the police even though our nonviolent activism was outside and simply speaking to the public. They've already called the police and they're watching us as we march along. So it's certainly not the first time that Whole Foods has called the police on us. But we've always been nonviolent. It's a key facet of our activism in DXC to present nonviolence to the public and show that we are on the side of compassion, that we are on the side of kindness and of justice, and that always comes apparent in our protests when other people are the ones making rude comments or pushing or shoving activists, which happens at times, or just being unwilling to talk or calling the police on us, because that's a form of violence too, and it's certainly allowing violence against animals to continue. So please share the live stream and show the public exactly what is going on here today, because a lot of people don't know yet, even though we've gotten such amazing press around the lawsuit in Vice and in Fox News and in Newsweek and Daily Mail, and so many people are hearing about it. We need everyone to know about this, especially everyone who shops at Whole Foods, or even if they don't have a Whole Foods in their area, if they're shopping at the equivalent, some sort of humane marketed store that claims their animal products are the place to buy them, that they are the best, that if you go to that store, you don't even have to think about what the animals went through because you're basically getting a guarantee that whatever you buy is full of compassion towards animals. And we know that isn't the truth, because what happens to all of these animals is they're killed at the end of their lives. A lot of people don't realize that to produce eggs, these animals are killed, but when their egg production declines and they're no longer laying enough eggs to be profitable, they are gassed. One frequent way of killing them is to just shut the doors of the flock inside of the barn, and to just gas them until they're all dead. And then what they do when those animals are dead is to take those hens out. They call it depopulating the flock because they don't want to say the truth, because farms and companies like Whole Foods don't want to say the truth to anyone. They just want to put humane labels and happy words and euphemisms on front. They call it depopulating the flock when they kill them all. And then they bring younger hens into those egg barns and they raise them while they lay so many eggs every week. They're laying an egg every day because their bodies have been genetically manipulated to lay one egg every day, which is so many more than they would naturally lay. It's ruining their reproductive cycle and causing so many reproductive diseases for them. But people don't realize that's what's happening behind eggs, because places like Whole Foods are telling you a lie, and they're telling you that there's not only nothing wrong with these eggs, there's something beautiful and happy and idyllic and picturesque about it. That there's these bucolic farms out there where everyone is happy all the time, and when you buy your eggs at Whole Foods and you buy your chicken bodies at Whole Foods and you get your bacon at Whole Foods, that no animals suffer for this and you're actually doing a good thing for the world. But that's not the truth, and that's why we need to shake this idea out of our society, and we need to get active to do that, and we need to uncover the truth ourselves. So we're going to the courthouse right now, the Oakland courthouse, and all of these activists are marching in their blue DXE shirts. Some of them say animal rescue on the back, so people get the message that we believe in the right to know and the right to rescue animals. And we are going right by Lake Merritt, so there's going to be a good number of people out here who are seeing us marching through Oakland and probably wondering why we have banned tape over our mouths. But we have leafleters talking to the public to explain to them what's happening, and we are spreading a really positive and loud message and hopefully getting more press out of this. And you can help us by sharing, because we need the whole world to see that Whole Foods, their response is to repress activists. Last month in September, they brought this first court date, and the judge recognized that what they were asking for was ridiculous. The judge recognized that when Whole Foods was asking for a statewide ban on DXE activists, that just did not make sense, and that we are nonviolent, peaceful activists. We don't deserve to be kicked out of every single store, but they did grant a temporary restraining order at the Berkeley Whole Foods location. And in response to that, we went right back to Whole Foods for our week-long Occupy Whole Foods event. And Whole Foods, I'm sure, was very upset about that. And so today, they have another court date with a different judge. We'll see what that judge thinks about this case, and hopefully they find it just as ridiculous. And they know that questions deserve to be asked by consumers who are trying to come into your store to know the truth. And we're working to present groundbreaking right-to-know legislation in a legislative way as well, and not just come to the companies and ask our questions, but go to the legislators in cities like Berkeley and San Francisco, and to ask them if they would support legislation that would demand consumer transparency, that would require these stores to no longer be able to just kick us out when we ask questions, but require them to give us the information, to have it on file in the first place, because so many of these people just literally can't answer our questions because they've never been provided with that information. And they believe the lies that they're being told. They believe when the company says we supply from humane farms that that's it, and that must be true because so many people believe it. But they don't actually know where these farms are. So when we ask them, oh, okay, so you're supplying from local humane dairy farms, which ones are they? They don't have good information for you. And this sort of legislation would require those companies to have that information on file and to make it publicly available. And one example that I can explain is we don't even know if this farm that we were just at this weekend is a Whole Foods supplying farm. This farm where we found dead piles of animals, mass graveyards of dead baby cows. We can't even necessarily say to Whole Foods that that's a farm that supplies to them, because they could deny every single farm that we try to address when we go to these local farms and we ask them if they supply from those farms. They won't answer. But Priya, do you want to share a little bit about what happened this weekend now that we're walking and have more time?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's something that's been obviously on
front of my mind. It's just really hard to forget. But for those of you who didn't tune in on Saturday, we went to a dairy farm. It's called Raymar Ranch in Northern California, and what happened there is just absolutely devastating. My friend Julianne and my friend Alicia, we were on the farm property documenting criminal animal cruelty, and that's what we were there to do, to document this cruelty. And on our way out, we thought we saw another dead calf, so we were just documenting that as well. And we knew we thought it was a dead calf because this was a designated dead pile area where they dispose of other calves. And Julianne sat down and said, "Here's another dead calf," and then we saw her, moving. And then this poor calf is moving, and she's unable to stand up. She's super weak. She's definitely on the verge of death. And so we did what any person would do. We tried to pick up this calf and take her to the vet. But that moment was so devastating because you just realized that this farm just left this poor calf to die in the scorching heat. She has no ability to get up, no ability to fend for herself. And on our way out, we're almost at the car that we needed to be at, and then we see these activists, we see these police cars, and we actually asked these police officers for help. "Hey, we need to take her to the vet, can you help us?" And instead of helping us, they told us to put down the calf. They arrested myself and Julianne and Alicia, and they took us to jail. And they had this calf thrown back into the farm where she probably passed away already. We're not sure, but she probably is no longer alive. And this was the most devastating thing that has happened to me. And I'm sure Julianne and Alicia too, and everybody else who's watching, because you really see the strong ties between law enforcement and these companies and these farms, which are making money. So the law enforcement literally feels like they have to defend them because it's all political. And the stark contrast between how they treated us and how they treated the farm owner. They were literally listening to him. It was you could tell that they were deferring to the farm owner.
They shook his hand, right?
They shook his hand. They were listening to him talk.
It's like a business transaction between the two of them.
It was a very
protect the farm.
Yeah, it was definitely a business transaction. They were asking him, "What do you want to do? Is there anything we can do for you?" We could just tell by the hand gesture, their nonverbal communication, because at this point we were sitting in the cop car and we didn't even get the privilege of sharing our story. And when we did, when we said, "Hey, we're here lawfully, we want you to look at the law, California Penal Code 597E, which allows us to be on the property when you know that there's animals who are denied access to food and water," and they said, "That's your opinion." And I told him, I said, "It can't be my opinion. I don't come up with opinions like that. I don't come up with opinions that are penal codes."
Wow. Yeah. Thank you, Priya. It's really terrifying, actually, to know that there's so many connections and such powerful protection from the law enforcement to keep these farms operating in the dark. And it definitely makes me understand why we would be even in this situation where Whole Foods is filing a lawsuit against us, because they think they can win, because they think they have the law on their side and money and power, and they've used it so far to hire expensive attorneys in this case, and they want to use that to shut down the power of the people.
Yeah, and Shraddha and so many people are saying thank you so much for your compassion. Thank you all for sharing and the support that you've given me. And I know that so many people are broken over this, not just me. So many people have told me that they've been depressed, that they can't stop thinking about it. And I just want to say I was feeling that way until I came here today. Because there's something so powerful about being next to people who are taking action in the time of activist repression. This is the time. We're going to look back in history and say, wow, they're throwing all these lawsuits and felony charges at us, and we're still out here speaking out. So if you have a chance to, please come to the Animal Liberation Western Convergence. I'll comment the link shortly. But if you can be around these activists and you can feel what I'm feeling right now, I feel hope. And not only do I feel this hope, I see it happening in front of me. Look at us. We're walking to a courthouse while Whole Foods is suing us, and taking this action during a time where people are getting repressed, they're getting charges, it feels good. And that's not why we should be doing things, but
it feels good to have the support of all the people here and all the people on live stream who know that this is an absolutely ridiculous case, that Whole Foods is trying to sue people for asking questions and for doing what they should honestly be praising us for when they claim to value transparency on their website. But when we go and we show the truth to the public and we bring up concerns for them about animal cruelty we found on their farms, they don't take action. They don't actually care about it.
Yeah, and they claim to care about it, and when it comes down to it, it's never a substantial conversation, if there even is a chance to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, Andrew's saying, I don't think you can see if your eyes are not open. I don't know at the end of the day how much people in, Whole Foods higher ups, CEO John Mackey or Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos actually believe that they're doing something good for the world or for animals, and how much of it they're aware of is just pure blatant cruelty. I like to think that people believe that maybe they're just doing something the way it has to be, and that they would care if they were up close to seeing these animals. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's often just about money, which is what Anna was saying, that they care about their bottom line, they care about making money, and the effort and the money that they've put into shutting our activism down, that they're using to repress us, shows that they must be very concerned about the truth that we've been spreading, that our actions are clearly a big threat to the humane myth that they want to sell, if they're going to such great lengths to keep us out of their stores.
Yeah, and if you're basically controlling the door and making sure whoever's coming in is not an animal rights advocate, eventually your strategy is going to fail.
Eventually there will be too many animal rights activists to even keep them out of the store. If everyone who's coming in is someone who has questions about animal products at that store, because now everyone is in the Bay and everyone else has seen a video of animal cruelty at a Whole Foods or an Amazon farm, then you're not going to be able to stop every customer you have from asking these questions.
Yeah, and especially if the right to know legislation passes, their whole facade, their whole marketing, they're done. They're no longer going to be able to market that. They're no longer going to be able to fool the public.
And some things people would be able to ask with that legislation that we would like to see pass is, for example, what mutilations happen to these animals. So while Whole Foods might say it's a cage-free or a natural or an organic or whatever label they want to use kind of farm, they can't deny to the public what mutilations were still allowed to occur at those farms, which across the board, it's standard for mutilations like beak cutting to happen even at farms that can get these certifications and get these labels. So when little chicks are born and they're still young, they just sear their beaks off with a hot blade so that when they grow up, they can't bite one another and cause damage and kill one another when they go stir crazy and start pecking each other in their close quarters and their extreme confinement. And that's exactly what would happen if their beaks grow to the point of being too sharp. And sometimes we've seen that where there are still animals who, maybe because it was improperly cut or because of whatever reason, they are able to cause so much pain to the other animals around them because they're just constantly climbing all over each other and colliding with one another and pecking each other, and they're terrified. And this is what's happening. And Dory is asking, where can we see those videos? Well, a lot of those videos are investigation videos that DXC has done. So you can go on Direct Action Everywhere's Facebook page, which is where you are now, but click on videos and you can see past videos. And then when you're on past videos, you can see a category called Open Rescue. And a lot of the videos we post are investigation and open rescue videos. So you can see, it's a little sad to see the actual conditions inside these farms, but they end on a happy note because you can see the rescued animals whose stories we're telling to the world.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, when we were at this facility, we were just documenting these conditions. We had no idea that we're going to come across this calf who we thought was dead. And we did whatever we could. And unfortunately, our efforts did not succeed. But people have to understand that we're up against these massive corporations. This farm has these police officers on the tip of his phone. He's basically sort of using the law enforcement as his puppet. And you can tell, during this, what happened here today. So we had no idea that we're going to come across this dying calf. And if we did, maybe we could have saved her. And all these things are really, really haunting, and they're really, really hurtful. But we have to understand that when you're building a movement, we're going to experience these painful, awful moments that, they leave you with so much darkness. And I that moment repeats in my head over and over again. But I think we are trying to build a movement so that thousands of us can actually come out. So if you're feeling sad about this and you're at home and you're thinking, what can I do? One thing you can do is come out. Come to these protests.
Yeah, Anna's asking what this protest is. We're actually marching right now from Oakland Whole Foods to the Oakland courthouse because we have a court date today in the Whole Foods lawsuit. So if you don't know, Whole Foods is suing Direct Action Everywhere for going inside their stores, for supposedly being a danger to the public, although what we would say is we are being a public good. We're trying to do a public good for everyone by bringing the truth and by bringing consumer transparency and demanding better from companies that right now are abusing animals and deceiving the public about it. So we're marching all the way from a Whole Foods protest we just did at the store to the courthouse, and we are going to be walking to court in our blue DXE shirts to show support for activism, to show support for the truth, to show support for animal rescue, all the things that Whole Foods is literally trying to get a lawsuit against and get a restraining order against these activists for doing. And so you can see some of our activists have banned over their mouths because that is a representation of what's happening. We are being banned from Whole Foods for wanting better, for wanting the truth, and for caring about animals. And so we actually put this tape over our mouths at Whole Foods, and the security was there to block the doors and not let us in, and to only let in selectively people who they could convince themselves were not animal rights activists. So they would only let people in one at a time through the doors. And like Priya was saying, that can't hold up forever, because eventually there's going to be so many animal rights activists coming in, and so many people who aren't even animal rights activists or necessarily vegan or vegetarian, but who have questions. Because people always have questions, and people want to know the truth, and people deserve to know the truth. And they can't keep everyone from asking these questions. And they see that that's the way things are going, that there's going to be this huge escalation of questions and people wanting to know the truth, and the truth coming out. The more investigations we do, the more videos that come out, the more people going in with questions, and they're scared. And so Whole Foods' response right now is to get a lawsuit, to ask for a restraining order, and to shut out the truth, to keep people out who would want to ask questions. And if you don't know, they asked for a restraining order a month ago in September. And thank you, Juliet, too, for commenting the petition to drop the lawsuit. If you haven't yet, please sign dxe.io/lawsuit. We're going to court right now to see what the judge will say. But last month when Whole Foods did this, they brought it to court the first time. The judge said it's not going to happen statewide. They're not going to give a restraining order against all of these nonviolent activists throughout the state of California. But they did grant a temporary restraining order. And that was at one location, the Berkeley Telegraph Whole Foods. So Whole Foods wasn't satisfied with that. They want to keep us out of every store in California, not just one location. And that didn't even keep us out, because we stayed there all week long doing Occupy Whole Foods, our first week-long occupation, where we were just out on the sidewalk with a big banner and a table and talking to the public and explaining and showing footage from investigations of their farms. And so they should learn their lesson at this point, that we're not going to be intimidated and we're not going to go away. But they haven't yet. And so they're continuing to take this back to court, and they want to get a statewide injunction and get a statewide restraining order against all of our activists throughout California. And it's really heartbreaking that their response is to do this to activists and to repress them, when we are genuinely the people who care about animals, and some of the people who are marching here are my best friends and people who I'm so inspired by. And I know all of you on the live stream are people who care about animals, and you're the people with all of that compassion that Whole Foods is terrified of. They don't want you to come into their store. They don't want you to ask a question. And Millie is saying we will not be silenced until all animals are free, and you're absolutely right. They can try all they want to arrest us, which they have done, to kick us out of their stores, which they have done, to sue us, which they're now doing. And we will keep coming back, because the truth isn't just going to go away. Even if it's with tape over our mouths to do a protest like this, we will always be coming back. And we're getting very close to the courthouse now. And I'm going to stand in front and show you all the activists here. So we're getting close to the courthouse, and I don't think we'll be able to bring the live stream inside, but we're going to get ready to go in and hear what the judge says and let you know what this decision is, so you can follow the comments to find out. But if people have any questions, please comment them, because I want you all to be effective when you go out and talk about this to your friends and family. If you, around the holiday season in November or December, have people telling you that they buy humane meat, that they buy cage-free eggs, then ask them to watch these investigation videos with you that we've done. Ask them to to talk about the Whole Foods lawsuit and why are these companies so terrified of activists coming in with questions, with photos from their farms, that they're going to such great lengths to keep us from coming in, that they're so terrified that they're hiring expensive lawyers and having us served late at night at our homes and filing a lawsuit to keep us out. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let me show you. We're at the County of Alameda courthouse now in Oakland, and our activists are gathering up. So I don't think I'm going to be able to take the live stream in, which is really unfortunate, but I want everyone to share this video and to stay checking the comments later to see any news that we might have. And please use this information as much as you can and spread it widely, because when this story first came out last month, when we first got served this lawsuit, we got so much press out of it. We got all of this press from Daily Mail, Vice, from Newsweek, from The Guardian, and different sites and sources who were so interested to know that, you know, this David and Goliath story, that Whole Foods is so terrified of these people right here that they needed to get a restraining order to keep us out. And you can see some outreach happening right here too. Doug is doing some outreach with the public. There's so many people who, when they hear about this, are just absolutely blown away, and they realize that if Whole Foods is this scared, it must be because we're doing something right. It must be because they know we have the truth on our side. And so they have to resort to using what they have on their side, and all that is money and power. They have connection to government, but as intense and scary as that seems for them to have money on their side and power on their side, the truth is the strongest thing of all, and that is what we have on our side. So please share this live stream if you agree with me, and please come to the ALWC, the Animal Liberation Western Convergence in Utah, and be a part of making history and challenging repression, because it is so inspiring to see actions like these happening in the face of legal repression. When we're facing felony charges, when we're facing, you know, sometimes like in Wayne's case, 9 felony charges at once, when we're facing personal lawsuits and we're facing all these different things where it could be really demoralizing, it's actually the opposite. And it's so inspiring to see these people coming out time and time again when the going gets rough, because they know that means we're doing the right thing and that we have the truth getting out there, and that's why the industry is terrified. So I'm really hopeful that we'll get positive news again when we go into the courthouse today. You can see what Almira has to say.
Whole Foods' lawsuit against our entire organization and every organization that's ever been associated with us. We're with a group called Direct Action Everywhere, and we've investigated many Whole Foods farms. And despite what Whole Foods says on their labels and their pretty packages, despite the claims of being thoughtfully raised or free range or organic,
people that are seeing us are so happy. They're honking and they're thumbs up and they're yelling.
We've seen a couple of MAGA hats out the window. People will wave their hats and stuff.
People have their hats right in the car, and they show us them. And there's nothing like this experience. And anybody that comes out and joins us really gets a feel for it. We had Dan Herrera and Sean Kilbane come out, and those guys are used to being in the GOP office, but this was their first opportunity to really come out and hold a flag. They were so excited. They couldn't believe the experience, and they said, "This is where it's at." They got it. You know, they loved it, and they want to come out and do more of these. And I think
everyone that comes by for the first time, they come back for more, because it's a lot of fun.
I think that when you do it for the first time, you really get a feel for it, and it's a rush. It's addicting.
It is.
It really is.
And it's a positive experience, and that's the way we try to keep it here with Carolinas for Trump. We always try to present Trump supporters as the majority of us really are, which is positive. We're happy, we're friendly, we're welcoming, we're inclusive. We want people to join us because they see that we are fun, friendly, approachable, family friendly. That's a big key.
Yeah,
because we've had a lot of kids at our roadside rally that come by.
We want you to be able to bring your children and
or your grandchildren, your dogs,
your dogs.
But, hell, bring your cat. Might as well.
But we don't want to get we don't want to stoop down to any of the levels of some of the people that are opposing us. We don't want to be that way. We want to be positive, and we want to show that we're better than that. It's so important that we keep class out here, and we do. And we're a conservative group, and we want you to feel comfortable bringing your family, and know that you're going to be okay out here, and it's safe, and it's positive.
Yep.
And that's what we do.
Now, not all the responses that we get are positive. We do get our fair share of middle fingers.
Yeah, and we say number one. That's our response to that.
Number one.
We don't, you know.
Here's the thing: is that anyone who is driving by and they see us, they don't see the person in the car giving us the finger. They see our positive reaction,
Horns
and
are
to
good.
them, their
Horns.
perception is positive because they think that everyone's supporting us. Even if we get a middle finger here and there, it's okay. We brush it off. We don't take it personally, and we turn it around and we make it a positive. We kind of get under their skin by making them think that we think they're pro-Trump. So
we've also had many times that people come and they're not all on our side, but we reach out and we have conversation with them. Chris he's the master at that.
Oh, come on.
He's the master at that. He'll
I
say
enjoy it.
why, and he'll ask questions, and he'll have conversation, and that's what we want. You know, you're not going to turn anybody around by giving them a finger and yelling at them.
Yep.
The only way is to talk and to hope, that you can change some minds. And if we change one mind, we've done something. So that's that's our goal.
And not just that, but my philosophy, the way I look at this whole thing is that we're not trying to influence everyone. We're not going to win by trying to influence everyone. There's an extreme 20% on either side who they're not going to change their mind no matter what. But then there's people who are leaning heavily towards one side or the other. That's going to be a lot of work to change their minds.
Right.
But if we target the couple of percent, maybe 2 or 3% of people who are straddling the line, they're right in the middle, they're leaning a little bit towards the left, or maybe they're a little bit hesitant to jump on the Trump train. If they see us and if we can be that little bit of a push, just a slight push that they need to get them over the line, those are the people we can win. It's not going to be too difficult. And those are the people that are going to make the difference, because they're either going to vote when they otherwise wouldn't have, or they're going to vote for Trump or Trump supporters because they're sick and tired. They're fed up with the Democrats and their crazy mob tactics, and they want to change. They want to see something positive. They see that Trump is improving the economy, national security, and making the country better for everyone, not just Trump supporters and Democrats, but for everyone. So we want to find those couple of percentage points right in the middle and push them over to our side, pull them over to our side, however you want to phrase it. So that's why we're out here, to be positive, pro-Trump, pro-America, remind people to vote, and we have a lot of fun when we're out here doing it. We want you to be part of it as well. This weekend, we're going to be in front of the Jack in the Box on Pineville Matthews Road. That's our never-fail rally spot. We got 4 lanes of traffic.
Started there, and we're going to finish there.
Exactly. And it's for us, it's a key area because it's District 9, it's Charlotte, so we have a lot of liberals and Democrats in Charlotte.
There, and it's exciting.
But that's where we need to get people to turn out and vote. So it's kind of a strategic spot for us. The location's awesome because we can park there, we can get food there. There's several restaurants in the area. If we want to go have lunch afterwards, we can do that. And it's a nice, safe place we can spread out and have a good time.
That'll be Saturday from 10 to 2.
Saturday 10 to 2, Jack in the Box on Pineville Matthews Road in Charlotte. Right now, we're in front of the Bank of America in Waxhaw at the intersection of Providence and Newtown Road. We're going to be here till about 7 o'clock. We have voter guides, we have stickers, we've got flags, we got signs. Woo! Can't really see the Trump flag, but there it is. People are waving at us and honking their horns. We're at a busy intersection. People are driving home. They've still got time. They can get to the polls, vote early in North Carolina. And Friday, Trump's in town. We got the Trump rally at the Bojangles Coliseum. We're going to be there. Even if you can't make it inside the rally, we're going to be there. I think you should really try to find someone to take your... Well,
not happening. I'm committed, but
I'm going to chip away at Michelle and see if we can get her to stay.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I'm so disappointed that of all nights, it's Friday night and I have another commitment, but I'm going to be there all day, hanging out with everybody. Hopefully I can help some people on the lines, but it's going to be a fun day. I think it's supposed to rain, unfortunately, but we'll just have to be we for that. And
yep, we'll bring ponchos.
We've gotten wet before, haven't we, Chris?
I think so.
When Trump came to town,
we got soaked.
But yeah, it's going to be a great day, and it's going to be packed, I'm sure. So get there early, guys. You know, get there early. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
A ticket doesn't guarantee entrance.
This is true. You got to get there. I would say get there before noon, definitely, if you want to get in. Try to get there in the morning. I'm going to show up probably around 8 o'clock. There's going to be people that show up way before
I might get there
then.
about 5, actually.
Wow, okay.
Or maybe 6:30.
Well, in that case, I might try to get there earlier.
Yeah, come early.
Yep.
We'll be there for sure, and we hope you guys find us. Come and say hi. Even if we're in different spots in line, we'll get to say hello. And
yeah. You can hear people beeping as they go by. They see our signs and flags and stuff. We're going to get back to rallying here. Rob, thank you. We hope to see you there. We'll see you at the rally. No one will melt. That's true.
Yeah.
And we're going to be out here, like I said, in Waxhaw till 7 o'clock, reminding people the importance of getting out and voting. If they like Trump, if they like Make America Great Again, get out and vote. We need every single vote we can get. These elections are usually pretty close, and this time we need to make sure that we win. We can't put it a chance. Sean, what's going? Awesome is how it's going. That's how it's going.
Anybody in the area, come on by. We'll be here for a little while still.
And Dawn, we do have red hats for Trump. We've got a couple MAGA hats available for purchase. If you want to come out, we got to give Sean some credit.
Sean, come on down.
Sean encouraged us to do these weekday rallies. We're gonna probably schedule a couple for next week, I think, during the week.
Tuesday night for sure.
Yep, Tuesday night for sure. And just to get people to the polls, remind them to vote. So I'm gonna make one little lap around to see the signs and stuff we have, meet some of the other people that are out here. Right. But Michelle, thank you for always being a part of this. And
of course.
We started this in 2016. We met at the Concord Trump rally.
Yep.
And a couple months later, we were doing these roadside rallies. Did them all through the 2016 election.
Yep.
Michelle especially did an awesome job during the last couple weeks of voting and stuff, doing these during the daytime and in all different locations. So yeah, we're gonna do it the same this time around. We got 2 weeks to go. We're gonna do as many of these as we can. And if you want to do one in your area, you don't need us. You can do it yourself. Go on Amazon. The flags are $5 each. You search for Trump flag or American flag. They're not the highest quality, but they get the job done more than well.
Yeah. All it takes is one flag and you out here. And
Michelle,
we'll
you want to talk about how you got this idea for these roadside rallies?
That's exactly how. There was a guy on the side of a road in Concord all by himself. It was early, like in the spring of 2016, before, I think it was still the primary. Was it the primaries?
Probably still the primaries.
And,
he was positive.
And it was a Trump flag, and he was all by himself. And I went by, and I was so ecstatic seeing him. He got me so, I was honking and yelling, and I was thrilled. And when I met Chris, I told him about that experience, and I said, this is what we got to do. The excitement I felt was just contagious, and I wanted others to feel that. And that's what we did. That's how we started. So come and join us.
Yep.
You'll love it.
Good persuasion technique or principle to remember is that people don't remember the facts and the details. They remember how you make them feel. So if they see a bunch of Trump supporters out here that are making them feel good, making them excited, they're going to remember that. They're not going to necessarily remember exactly what the signs say or anything like that, but they will remember that they saw a bunch of Trump supporters having fun, waving, smiling, and they're going to remember that. That's going to make the influence on them. So that's what we're out here for, to get people excited, to make people happy.
And just seeing the American flag, people love it. Just seeing the flag is so exciting to people.
And here's an interesting fact. Robert Cialdini, he wrote a book on persuasion called Influence, and it's actually a statistically proven fact that people, when they're exposed to an American flag, they are more likely to vote for a Republican. So even if you hold an American flag in front of a voting site, you're not going to win everyone, but you will have a very subtle influence, and people will slightly lean a little bit more towards the Republican side. So Persuasion 101, that's a little trick for you. But I'm going to spin this around. We're going to go see the signs. We're going to go visit some of the other supporters who are out here on this weekday. And we look forward to seeing you guys out here with us. It's a lot of fun. Trump supporters have more fun. We'll see you Friday at the Trump rally. Sean, thank you for your support. I saw, who else? Vicky, thank you for your support. Dawn, Red Hats for Trump. Amen. Rob, on any weekend, you can do it any weekend, any day. We're going to be out here next weekend at the Jack in the Box. Joe, going to see you on Friday. I hope to meet you. Give me a call. You've got my number. Give me a call when you get there. We're going to meet up. And who else is on here? Red Wave, that's for sure. Dawn, again, the Red Hats, Paul, Willie, good to see you, Willie. I'm going to keep on scrolling up. Vincent Bordini. I had a neighbor named Vincent Bordini, not the same one, but I grew up with Vincent Bordini. Rob, good to see you. And let's go, Scott. Hey, Scott Pressler. Let's get in touch. I would love to do something with you. I know you're doing this kind of stuff up in Virginia. I love seeing you out there with your Black Lives Before Immigrants, Illegals, or whatever. That sign is powerful, and I see you out there by yourself a lot of the times, which is, I mean, yeah, this guy's out there. He does the same sort of stuff, just with his sign that says, I think it's Black Lives Before Illegal Lives or something like that. And it's just cool to see someone out there by themselves, like you said about the story that inspired you. Seeing one person, that's all it takes, and it's easy to do. Let's see, I'm going to spin this around, and I will do that, Scott. We'll be in touch. So, we got Mark Harris signs. I was not originally on board with Mark Harris, but I've seen the light, and he's a Trump supporter. I fully support Mark Harris. I think that he is our best option for District 9. Unfortunately, I am not a District 9 voter. I'm in District 12, so Alma Adams will undoubtedly win this election. We got to vote for MAGA, America First. Barbara Jackson for the North Carolina Supreme Court. Vote for all 6 amendments, especially voter ID. It's okay to walk away. Early voting now. Vote Mark Harris. We got a couple of them. One of our supporters makes some awesome signs. She's been making some policy signs. We're kicking China's ass on trade, which we are. So we want to get people the information they're not hearing from the mainstream media. Terry, you're on Facebook Live. You want to say hi? Now, Terry is one of the original Carolinas for Trump supporters from 2016. You had a lot of fun then. You having fun now?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Fun. And go out and vote for Mark Harris.
You want to talk about who's coming to town? Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow. What's his name?
Mike Huckabee.
Mike Huckabee. God.
Mike Huckabee will be in
Matthews Library at 5:30.
5:30, and you can also say hi to Terry. Get a selfie with Terry too.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, Terry. And how about over on this corner? How are we doing? Vote for Mark Harris. You getting lots of positive responses from this direction?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, Meryl, you've made a lot of these signs. What's your favorite Trump policy that you think is going to change some minds?
There's so many to choose from. Probably the veterans can go to any doctor now without waiting at the VA until they die. And the bad employees that were once there are now gone because they've been fired. There was new legislation enacted that they can be fired now. All the sadists, all the military haters, they're gone.
That's awesome.
And more money in your pocket.
Yeah, the tax
Another
cuts.
10% discount for all the middle class.
Yep.
So go Trump.
We're winning. We're not tired of winning. We're not going to be tired of winning. We're going to win and win and win and win and win. And I'm going to spin this around one last time. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part of this virtually from wherever you are. Remember to vote. Remember to vote for Republicans who support Trump. And if you're in the North Carolina area, remember we're going to see you on Friday at the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte. We're going to get there early. There's on our Carolinas for Trump Facebook group. It's a private group. Send a request if you want to join. We'll vet you and make sure you're legit, and we'll let you in. And we got people who are showing up at different times and kind of coordinating with each other, so that while we're standing in line, no matter what time you get there, you can be around people that you know and people that are in the group. And once we get inside the arena, we're gonna have some signs and stuff that you won't be able to miss. At the South Carolina rally, I was. Good timing. I was able to troll Jim Acosta with the CNN Sucks sign, and if you like that, stay tuned on Friday. So we're gonna see if we can go one up. Me and Meryl are working on that project. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for everything, Vicky. Thank you all your support. Rob, Sean, Alex, Rob, again, Scott. We will be in touch soon, and I will see you guys.
1 is en route to 9924 Hillcrest. Going to 9924 Hillcrest Road. Engine 48 en route. 8501 low water. Engine 25 1632 Owego. Rescue 52.
52.
We are clear. We can take that run for rescue 76.
Engine 22.
660, can you assign us a rescue for a medical emergency?
Engine 22, we'll assign a rescue.
Engine 51.
Engine 51.
We're through with this run. Do you want us to continue to 19 or is it changed?
Q52, take bleeding 3065 Westmoreland, rescue 76, you may disregard.
Thank you, rescue 52.
Engine 22, you have a rescue 55 assigned.
22 received, rescue 55. Engine 43 is 7th and Walnut Hill. 784.
784.
Can we get one additional ambulance to this multi-alarm off East Grand, please?
Receive one additional ambulance will be added to East Grand.